Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of my speed build at Jamaica Plain, where I turn this place into a community settlement. I was so excited for this build that I just built it and built it and built it, so all the episodes are pre-recorded currently and edited a bit differently. Let me know how you feel about that. I'm going to start off with something nice and simple by turning these two buildings in front of me into different apartments for the middle class people to live. So let's get started. First thing you'll notice is I use the Jamaica Plain rebuild mod. I really like the series because it just saves me a lot of time and effort rebuilding everything. Originally, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with the buildings. I was thinking like one apartment each floor, but then I decided actually why don't we turn these into two apartments on each floor for like middle class people. They're small and they're not like the best, but it's a lot nicer than where the poor people live, and you'll also be given like, pretty much everything you need to live in your building. And what I like most is that because these are just like random settlers that I spawn in, they're not actual characters, I get to change up what like their personalities are. So I get to, later on, I really get to really, show off their personality in these apartments. I had thought about the layout before I started building, so I really just kind of quickly trying to figure out where all the stuff should go and making sure that I can, split these apartments up decently. I think I end up having two settlers living in each apartment. Downstairs ends up being one small apartment and then one big one, but I actually turn one of the settlers into like a prospector or whatever. A provisioner. So they don't actually care what their house looks like because they never use their beds or anything. They just leave and you never see them again. What's interesting, and I think I don't remember to do it until later, is each apartment gets their own personal bathrooms too. Just toilets. There's no showers because there's no room, and I think it would be funny that they can go poop by themselves, but they have to shower, in a public shower somewhere outside. Honestly, I'm really not sure what else to say while I'm building the walls. Just, two apartments. I guess I could start telling a little bit about the characters who will be living in these apartments. The family that will be living in the apartment that I'm currently standing in is going to be he's one of the bar owners, but like for like the seedy bar in town, and his wife is a brewer or whoever. I don't really care. I don't like specifically pick like what genders the people who are going to be living there. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters to Sin is whether or not they're a ghoul, because if they're a ghoul, then they should not be there. Jamaica Plain's a cool settlement when you think about it. It's south. It's like the one of the most southern settlements I think you can get. If you're looking on the map, like on your Pip-Boy, I think Somerville Place is a little souther. No, Murkwater is more south than this, but this is pretty down south. It's a real pain. It was an extraordinarily big pain in my butt to get this settlement, a supply line, because Oberlin Station is broken for me for some reason. I'm pretty sure what happened is there's two sisters who live there, and I'm pretty sure one of the sisters either died or despawned forever ago, and now I have no way of getting a quest for that place, and I murdered her sister hoping it would just be like, okay, now it's unoccupied, here you go. That was not the case, so now I can't get it, so I just decided screw it. So the supply line actually comes from, I think, Hangman's Alley. So that's quite a long trek from, pretty much the middle of the Boston city all the way here, and let me tell you, I had to walk a lot because my current game is kind of all messed up. My fast traveling just doesn't work all the time. I always get infinite loading screens, which I probably should fix at some point. But anyway, so I basically no-clipped my way across the map several times. I also had to do the Grey Garden quest because I didn't do that yet. Oh no, actually maybe that's where they're coming from. Maybe they're no. Grey Garden to Jamaica Plain, Jamaica Plain to, not Jamaica Plain, Hangman's to Jamaica Plain. So that's the route. It's a bit funky. I plan my routes usually, but they tend to change depending on like my needs. I also think I finally got Northhagen. I don't know. It's that beach one with the husband and wife and child. I like that place. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. So it's gonna probably pop up and be like, "It's this, you dumb dummy." I didn't mean to get that place, but I did because I was listening to the radio hoping it would be like, "Hey, Oberlin Station needs your help, idiot," and it was like, nah. So I didn't get Oberlin Station, so I'm just skipping it, which honestly is fine by me. I didn't have a plan for it, really. Pretty sure it was supposed to just be another outpost, like an outpost for the Brotherhood in the whatever part of the map. I'm not going to try to remember north, south, east, and west anymore, especially because it makes me look like an idiot when I have to pause in the video like, oh, which way is it? I guess I should have, when you come to Jamaica Plain, you actually run into a bunch of feral ghouls, which I fucking hate. I hate feral ghouls. They just creep me out, and they're obnoxious, and I hate them. There's a little quest here. I don't know if it's if it's like a non-script, if like there's any name for, if it's a in your journal kind of quest. It must be the Jamaica Plain one, where you have to like find the key, and then you go and find the treasure, which apparently I actually didn't do. I said previously in one of my Croup Manor speed builds that I had done Jamaica Plain, and I actually haven't, which was bizarre because I swear to God I thought I did like immediately after I got this place. Which is cool because now I have the Fusro Da bat, which is fun, and I might actually use, even though this character is a sniper and not. She's a sniper and unarmed. It's supposed to be like if you're far away, she shoots you. If you get too close, she's gonna punch you in the face kind of character. Because I think it's because I found a Deathclaw gauntlet, and I'm like, well, I gotta use this. And also, I love unarmed / melee builds in this game. It's like seriously broken if you use VATS. Which one is it? I can't remember the perk. It's like the last one in like agility or something, and it's that one that Blitz. It's Blitz. I love Blitz. It's like Blitz. You get Blitz and a good unarmed or melee weapon, and you're king / queen of the Commonwealth because it ain't gonna matter. Whatever you see is gonna get smashed in the face. So this is the end of this, and I move on to the next building, actually, which is going to be just one apartment upstairs and one downstairs. I scrapped or saved everything. I originally saved that rug, but it's weird. You can't move it. I don't know what's wrong with it. I hate that door. That door's placement is stupid, and I didn't put that door there. That's just the way the door is, and it's dumb, and I hate it. I guess I do save a lot more than I destroy. Funny enough, oh no, actually both of these apartments, no, the apartment downstairs ends up being a single family home, and then the one person house, and then the one upstairs is for 2 people. And I do because originally I blocked this off as like a, like teehee, the poor people can't get into the house, but like they could kind of look into your home. It's not super safe, but it's not, unsafe. But instead I actually turn it into a deck. No, a patio. I guess it's a patio because it's an enclosed space. But it becomes a patio, and it's actually really cool. I use the Woody's Wasteland stuff, and I put a window there, so it looks like it. So it's supposed to be like that's where they put their poo. They only get a poo bucket. They don't get because houses. So I realized houses in Fallout don't have bathrooms. It seems because there's no like room anywhere where you would put a bathroom in this house, so I'm not really sure where you would put a bathroom in here. So I basically said they make like a little walled off area where they put a poop bucket, and that's their bathroom, and then they have to throw it off a balcony when they need to get rid of their waste. And that's just what the poor people have to deal with is poo. So good for them. I'm trying to remember who ends up living in this apartment. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the general store owner. So it's like a decent apartment. The plumbing situation isn't the best, but it's a single family, it's for a one person. What's actually funny is I'm pretty sure I have a mod that comes with like these weird I accidentally moved the house, and then I end up I hate that's the only problem I will say is because each piece of the buildings become like a movable object. I have a tendency to accidentally move shit constantly. But anyway, sidetracked. I have a mod that basically has like these weird flat, super flat wallpaper decal things that basically look like the insides of these houses. So I could have made it look like the inside of these houses, but I decided against it because it didn't really matter to me. Originally, this was supposed to be an apartment for one person, one of the security guards, but then I thought that it's going to be a huge waste of an apartment because here I've mentioned this before again. Actually, that was in my Taffington tour. Yeah, guards don't go to sleep. They just, they just kind of always are awake, and you can't really make them go to sleep. And then, unless you have, like I said, I believe previously I've said it's like if you have more guards than you have spaces, they take turns, which is cool and all. Except for the fact is I don't want double my guard force just so I can have them take turns. I think they should it should calculate how many are considered guards and then like half that and then say they take turns. I don't know. This place is interesting. So, usually the settlements will be broken down between different guard type, like some are civilian guards. Taffington was Minutemen guards. This place has both. It has a couple of Minutemen stationed here for, tactical reasons, and then it has a private, guard force. Only a couple. I think it's like 3 or 4 people, and one of the guards lives in the apartment upstairs. And then I was like, I should add someone else. So I can't remember. Oh, I think I made a preacher lady. Because I was like, you know what, we need a preacher lady. Even though sadly, there's a church right next door, and it's well, maintained, but there's no way to extend the build over to it. Which sucks, because I think that would be really cool if I could have, like, people, like, coming from this settlement going over to the church that's already there and then, doing the prayer stuff, which is cool. But, whatever. We'll just say, like, oh, well, they're working on it. They're working on it and, it's fine. It'll be set up later for worship. Because I think Sin would be really, she's like a real American girl, so she'd be really like pro, freedom of religion, so she would allow, she doesn't care if people make religious groups in the places where she's technically like landlording over them. Only technically. It's supposed to be kind of like she doesn't own this place. They, the people who live here built it themselves up over the few years that, the game, takes place. I like to say it takes place over years. But, she actually taxes them for the Minutemen Guard. So, like, if they decided, we're not going to pay you anymore, she would just say, well, okay, I'm taking my highly trained guards and going home. And you can have your militia with pipe pistols. So, all the militia here have nothing but, like, pipe pistols and, like, really garbage weapons they have to, like, build by themselves and such. And then the Minutemen have all of their laser muskets and whatnot. I have no idea what the heck I was up to trying out, because I wanted to basically cover this off so it would be, nice and, private, like more private than just having fucking, it's like, hi neighbor, I can just yell up the stairs at you, or I can peek over the banister and see what you're doing. But I think, yeah, like I mentioned before, this house was originally just going to be one for person, but then I was like, this is kind of a big apartment for one person in a place like this, so it ends up becoming a couple, which it could have just ended up being roommates. Oh my god, they were roommates. But they were not. So it ends up being a guard and a preacher lady, which is really funny. I don't know. I think that's interesting. One person's protecting the town, the other one's doing their religious stuff. And downstairs, the general. I think I like to think that, like, because the general store in this place isn't exactly a high-class general store, so he's not, like, super rich, but he's not exactly, dying here. He has a home, which is a lot more to, than the other people can say, the poor of this place, which, they have to live in ramshackle nothings. I end up just, I just finish up here making, that popped out, which is annoying. Actually, I think everything's kind of off-kiltered, which is a little annoying. But I just fixed that up, and then we're going to move to the last building I work with, because I forgot I also did the walls for the inn, which is part of the rebuilt mod. Originally, this place was completely unopened. Like, it was one of the, like, those, just the boarded up houses. You couldn't get into it, which is annoying because it takes up a huge chunk of this, this build place. So originally it was also going to be apartments like the other building, but then I decided, actually, why not make it into a little inn? none of the other settlements in the south I'm turning into community settlements. So this is like one of the last places you can rest before you're stuck trekking all the way to, North Boston or whatever. So I thought it would be a nice little place to stop and, rest. And it also comes into play later, where so all the shops are basically considered like poor, like they're not well off. A lot, people don't come here to trade really. It's just like if you sell something people need, daily, then you're good. Or not even good. The people who live here aren't exactly the richest folk in the world, so, it's just like basically like, you don't make a lot, but if you house tourists, that's a great way to make money. Or later on, you'll see that the clothing shop is one of the richer boutiques, and I don't know, I just kind of like to think that if you are going to be the only person who knows how to sew and how to, take care of clothing, then you're going to end up being set for life in this place. Over someone who, once in a blue moon, sometimes you'll buy toiletries from, which even the rich people probably wouldn't even do. They would probably, like, have a servant go and fetch it for them from the Undercity, as they'd call it. The inns are a bit compact. There ends up being 3 rooms and a bathroom, like a really nice bathroom. It's huge and it has like a nice shower and everything. 2 of the rooms that I made into those sunrooms are gonna be single occupant places. And this big room ends up being one with a double bed because I thought, a couple people would like to, spend the weekend there together or something, traveling with more than one person. And because I changed what the downstairs is going to be, upstairs ends up just being a single apartment for the owners of the inn. The husband works the front desk, and then there'll be I keep saying husband and wife. I'm being very heteronormative right now, and I don't mean to be, which is bizarre because I'm very much not, so it's weird for me to be like husband and wife. But the 2 occupants, who have to be a married couple because they share a single bed, one works, like just literally doesn't have to work a day in their life, so they just take care of flowers and gardens around the town. I'll show you later in one of the decoration videos what I'm talking about, but basically they just take care of stuff while the other person is stuck manning the front desk all day. This ends up being the bathroom because originally it was going to be 4 rooms, but then I'm like, actually, if you're gonna stay at a a nice inn, there should be, a bathroom for them to use that's not like gross, like a nice private bathroom. And sure, there is only one, but like only a couple people can be here at a time, so it's like a lot better than nothing. That weird little bump out ends up becoming the bedroom, but I change up the wall completely. It isn't just that little square. I make it bigger, and then I make a weird, funky little hallway in the corner, which I end up liking towards the end, which is a lot better than this, whatever this is. I do have to say, while I really like the mod, I find this building's layout to be a bit funky, but honestly, I think that's just because Fallout builds are funky looking when you really are trying to work with them. And I think this is pretty much it. I think I add I cover up some of the end pieces, like the holes above the thing. But anyway, that's all. Bye.